Alright guys, welcome back. You're Mark and Tom again, TCG and Whiskey here. We're going to be going over a much smaller card than last week. Last week was unbelievable. I was telling Tom, felt like a pay-per-view event. That TJ Dillashaw-Sandhagen fight was unreal. Some people mad at the judges' scorecards. I can see why they were mad on some fights, for sure. I thought TJ did enough to win, but it's my opinion, and it was an amazing fight either way for free. Guys, I just want to say thank you to our sponsor first. We got Tampa Bless Home Team Do Good. New Team Do Good feature with Justin Cole just dropped today. TampaBless.com for more information. And also, I want to announce last week, or actually beginning of this week, I opened some cards up, some tops, and I got a few winners. I sent out on the video Anthony Fernandez and Tweety J. If you guys just drop me an email, respond to my post that you sent the email, and I'll mail out the packages of cards for you guys. It's on me.
Dope.
So one guy's definitely going to get a nice Connor card, so it's good. All right, but let's break right into this. We got a middleweight, our main event, Uriah Hall. He's ranked number 8 in the world right now. He's 36 years old. He's 18-9. He's a plus 180 betting underdog. He's on a 4-fight win streak right now. His last fight not being very long. We don't have to go over that. Nightmares about that one. And he's going up against Sean Strickland, ranked 11, 30 years old. He's 23-3. He's a minus 220 favorite, and he's also on a 4-fight win streak. We got two bangers here, Tom. How do you see this fight playing out?
Oh, yeah. Well, first off, I want to say thanks for having me, Marky. And I actually completely agree with what you said about last week's card. Amazing. And I thought the same thing when you had mentioned to me about that Corey TJ fight being kind of like the best non-pay-per-view fight that you're going to see on ESPN. And I agree with that. That's really is the caliber type of fight that you would have seen on a pay-per-view. But yeah, excellent fireworks. All right, this week, here we go. Uriah Hall, the Jamaican on one side. Sean Strickland, the American on the other. Hall, 6 feet tall. Strickland, 6'1". Hall has a 3.5-inch reach advantage. Hall is 18-9-0 overall, 10-7 in the UFC. He's a second-degree black belt in Kyokushin Karate. He's a blue belt in BJJ. He's coming off that Weidman leg break TKO victory back in April 2021. He also has 4 wins in a row. Another noteworthy piece is he's tied for the most KO victories in UFC middleweight history. On the other side, Sean Strickland, 6'1" in height, as I already mentioned. He's 23-3 overall, 10-3 in the UFC. He's a brown belt in BJJ, and he's coming off a unanimous decision win over Krzysztof Jotko in May 2021. And he also, the same as Hall, has 4 wins in a row currently. So somebody's streak is going to be broken coming up this weekend. My pick, I'm going with the underdog here, Uriah Hall by decision.
All right, Uriah Hall by decision is the pick. I see this fight as a stand-up contest, which we know most people love a stand-up contest. Strickland on fire as of lately. Super crisp, efficient boxing from him. But as we said, Hall's also on fire and has serious power in his hands. I'm also taking the underdog here. I think Strickland is underestimating the power and skill of Uriah Hall. According to his recent interviews and his posts, he says there's going to be blood, but I'm not sure. I got a first-round KO Hall in the upset.
Oh, wow.
I also feel this is Hall's potentially last chance to really chase the belt at his age, and he knows it. So I think he's going to leave it all on the line. He's super improved as of late. He's not in his own head. I like him. First-round KO, underestimation by Strickland. Now, as far as their cards go, Uriah sits as one of the most impossible sets to find. 2013 Bloodlines, which contains Conor and Khabib's rookie cards. But you can still find him in there. Cheap. I think he stays cheap. I like him. I just don't think he has enough fans to really gain the value for any kind of gains in the future here. Strickland, on the other hand, he's not printed, but he seems so crazy that he'll get a following if he continues his winning ways. Similar to Tony Ferguson. People love that kind of nuts. So he's a good speculation buy when he comes out. All right, let's move it right on. We got a bantamweight bout. Kyung Ho Kang, minus 135. He's age 33, he's 17-8, one no contest. His no contest is Cesaris failed a drug test. Yaya, 36 years old. He's 27-10, 1-1, and he's plus 115 underdog. His last 3 fights, he has 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss. So he's all over the place. Where do you see this going, Tom? Yaya's grappling skills or Kang grappling skills? Who's got the better ground game here?
All right, so on one side you got the South Korean Kang Kyung-ho. He's 5'8" in height. He has a 6-inch reach advantage over Yaya, the Brazilian, who's 5'5" in height. Kang, 17-8 overall with 1 no contest. UFC 6-2 with 1 no contest. He's a blue belt in BJJ. He's coming off a split decision win over Liu Pingguan in December 2019. So it's been about a year and a half for him since he's gotten in the ring. But he does have 3 wins in a row. On the other side, Yaya, 27-10-1 with 1 no contest, 12-4-1 in the UFC with 1 no contest. He's a second-degree black belt in BJJ, black belt in Muay Thai, and a world-class grappler as well. He's coming off a sub-win round 2 over Ray Rodriguez in March 2021. This is going to be good. This, just like the first fight as well, it's not an easy pick. I'm going to go with Yaya here by sub round 3.
Yeah, we got 2 super heavy grapplers. Yaya getting older and is by no means in his prime, but I think he has a big advantage here. And people are just looking at physique and range and taking Kang, as he's the favorite right now. Ronnie has 21 submission wins. Kang has 11 submission wins, so no slouch either. But I think Yaya upsets the younger Kang. I think he gets a submission too. I think it's going to be a little earlier than 3rd round. So I don't think he'll have a problem getting this fight to the ground. 2nd round sub for me. And as far as the cards, Ronnie, true veteran of the sport, he can be had for about $1 a rookie card. And he's all the way from 2011. If you haven't built his following by now, I just don't know if it'll happen. Got to sell on him. And we have to see with Kang if he can gain some traction. He's not printed yet, so we got a little bit of time on him. But I think potentially we could see him printed later on. And then we got the prelim main event, women's bantamweight, Nico Montano. She's ranked 15. She's 32 years old. She's 5-3, and she's a minus 240 favorite. Her last fight was a loss to Juliana Pena. And she's going up against Wu Yanan, age 25, 11-4, plus 195, who's on a 2-fight losing streak. What do you see going on here? We don't get a lot of action out of Nico, so what's going to happen with this one?
Well, you got Nico Montano, the American, on one side, 5'4" in height. Yanan Wu, the Chinese, on the other side, 5'7" in height with a 1-inch reach advantage. Nico is a purple belt in BJJ. She's coming off a loss to Juliana Pena, who we know is going to be fighting the week after that against Amanda Nunes for the belt. And she had lost to Pena by unanimous decision in July 2019. So she hasn't fought in 2 years, Nico. Another interesting thing is Nico only in her overall, I should have covered that first, but her overall record is 5-3. Her UFC record is 1-1. Her first fight ever, she won the belt, the inaugural women's belt. So she's a former belt holder.
Yeah.
Right, but that was her first and only fight at the time in the UFC. She became a belt holder. The next fight she lost. So very kind of bizarre circumstances in that. The fact that you got a belt in your first fight and you've only had 2 fights and you're 1-1. Anyhow, on the other side, 11-4-0 overall Wu, 1-3 in the UFC. So her back is really on the chopping block, in my opinion, which could bring out the best in her because she's got to know at 1-3 that 1-4 is not a good look. She's a blue belt in BJJ. All losses in the UFC were by decision, though. She was never finished in the UFC on any of those 3 losses. She's coming off a unanimous decision loss to Jocelyn Edwards in January 2021. Who's my pick? This is another one that the youth of Wu at 25, plus the factor backs against the wall, could bring about a victory. But I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with Nico after a 2-year layoff with a decision win.
All right. So Nico has a long back history from USADA bans. That's why we didn't see her fight for a long time, to weight cut problems, to her coach had COVID. That's another reason why she couldn't get in the ring. We get to see her back, but she's at a higher weight class now. I believe she needs to be at this weight class, though. She's had many problems, like I said, making weight before. I also think this favors her, as Wu doesn't seem to have a problem making flyweight, at least not yet. She's more well-rounded than given credit. I think Wu is improving her skill set, though, and she's going to be her toughest opponent yet. I also think we get another upset here. I think she shocks everyone with her BJJ. We know Nico normally wrestles heavy, and I think she can't get the wrestling skills down on Wu, and I think we see her tiring out Nico and winning in the 3rd round by KO.
Oh, wow. Nice. I like it.
Yeah, that just, like you said, Nico just doesn't have the experience, even though she was a flyweight belt holder. She's been out. She's had so many problems. I think we see that little upset. I think Wu's been improving. A lot of time.
Could happen.
Yep. Now, Nico's strange backstory. I don't see her ever rising again. I hope she proves me wrong, though. I got to sell on her rookie card. Wu isn't printed yet. She's young. She only needs a few more skills to really step up her game. We've already seen she's got pretty good striking. She's got decent BJJ. She's got a good chin. She's durable. I think we have a good potential to see her printed in the future. Now, guys, we're going to cover one more fight. We're going to cover a couple really green guys. We got the featherweight, Colin Anglin, age 28, 8-1, plus 115. He's on a 7-fight win streak, and his last fight was a win on the Contender Series. He's fighting Melsik Bagadaranian, age 29, 5-1, minus 135 favorite. His only loss was his first fight, and his last win was also on the Contender Series. So these guys are true first-time UFC fighters outside of the Contender Series here. So, Tom, I know there's not a ton of info on these guys. It's a little harder to gather anything on them, but how do you see this one playing out?
Well, I just got to say that you had me laughing there. It was a good effort on Melsik's last name. But
give it a shot.
That's all you could do. I'm going to give it a shot here in a second as well. So you have Colin Anglin, the American, on one side. He's 5'8" in height. He's got a 1-inch reach advantage over the Armenian Melsik Bagdasaryan. He's 5'8", also the same height as Colin, but he does have 1 less inch in reach. Colin has the advantage on that. Colin, though, 8-1 overall. Melsik, 5-1 overall. Both these guys, it's their debut, which I love, and that's kind of why I wanted to cover this with Mark, and he did as well, because sometimes you get these ones, you get debut versus debut. It's really nice because both these guys are coming off Contender Series wins, and you could end up with like an actual contender coming out of this. You see some guys, and I also think it's just a little bit more of an even playing ground when you get 2 debuts. Instead of a debut against a really seasoned fighter. I like the debut versus debut. I don't have much knowledge on these guys. I'm looking forward to this fight. I'm hoping we see somebody that is kind of a breakout here. My pick, I'm not really sure. I'm hoping it's a scrap. I'm thinking either Melsik early or Colin by decision. But where am I going to stand? I'm going to go with Colin by decision.
Okay, so I did a little searching into these guys, watched a little earlier fights. Now, I think we're going to see another stand-up battle here, which is nice. We all like that. Both guys have a bunch of KOs on their record. Anglin has 100% takedown defense and 75% for Melsik. I'm also taking the underdog here again. I'm going to take Colin Anglin. I think both are going to eat shots. First true UFC appearance. They're going to both have adrenaline pumping. Melsik has very little ring time. He has about 2 minutes if you take away his last fight that went to decision. His only UFC competition. He went to decision. His other fights were 10 seconds, 23 seconds. And we see what happens with guys that pummel everyone that don't have the ring time once they step into real contenders. So without any experience, all the guys he fought too had very little experience. He wasn't going up against any tested guys on their way up either, really. Colin has a ton more time in the ring. I see him grinding out a decision win here myself. As far as the card goes, we got a ton of time to wait on these guys. And we'll see how they do in this fight, and we'll readjust and reevaluate then. Guys, I appreciate you for joining us. This card was a little bit shorter this week. Next week, though, we look to have another banger. All right, have a great day.
Peace.